You're listening to the Death Rattle Crew, a Hearthstone podcast.
DRC, welcome to episode 7 of the Death Rattle Crew. I'm your host, Mike Tattoo Hearn, and I'm joined today by Tom Just Soup Jessup.
Hello.
Don't forget you can find us on YouTube and Twitter at Death Rattle Crew. Our website is www.deathrattlecrew.com, and we're finally on Stitcher, so you can find us there. Just look up Death Rattle Crew. iTunes approval is pending. Had a little mishap with technical difficulties, if you will, so had to get that resubmitted. So you can find us there hopefully soon, and I'll update that as soon as I can. Other than that, there's no other big news I want to announce yet, but we'll go ahead and get into the show. Welcome to Meta Anatomy, your one weekly stop for everything meta in Hearthstone. I am Tac2, and I'm joined again, of course, by Just Soup. So the meta, well, before we get into the meta, let me just say two things. I'm excited. Blackrock Mountain announced finally. Yes. I've pre-ordered it. Ready for it. My body's ready. How do you feel about it, Tom?
I want it to come out like now, but I don't want it to come out because I haven't pre-ordered it yet, and right. I'm still on the fence because, like we were talking beforehand, I haven't been playing Hearthstone much this week because I get frustrated very easily with it, and everything's very streaky. I either win a lot or I lose a lot, and every time I come back to Hearthstone, I'm like, yeah, let's play some Hearthstone. Oh, I need to pre-order Blackrock, and then I play it. And then I go on losing streaks, and I'm like, I'm done with Hearthstone forever. And I know that's a total lie because I've put already too much money into this game.
Oh, I hear that.
Nowhere near probably as much as you, but for me, too much money.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want my wife to hear about how much I've spent. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And when Nax was released, it really shook up the meta, and I didn't like it initially. Several months later, I do like how they do it, where they release certain specified number of cards week to week.
Yeah,
it keeps things very lively. I like that a lot. What I thought was interesting is the first day that Undertaker.
Oh yeah,
was released. That has been a thorn in my side since the date was released. that was nothing new, but. Yeah. Hey, those days are over. It's still a good card, but it's not.
It's a playable card. I don't think it'll ever see very, very high competitive play again, unless there's a solid, really, really good Death Rattle aggro deck in Druid, maybe innervate out a bunch of 1-drops,
right?
Something like that.
I like it. I think it's a good card now. Not stupidly overpowered, and if they get it out turn 1, you might as well just concede. We'll get more details on that. If you haven't pre-ordered it, get that pre-order hype going. Come on.
Yeah. Get that card back.
That's right. And then to everyone else, BlizzCon ticket dates were announced. So I'm going to be selfish and say, don't go order tickets because I need to get mine first. I heard, I haven't been to one yet. BlizzCon, but I've heard how quickly the tickets sell out.
Yeah.
I have already ordered or reserved my hotel room, and I have tickets already, plane tickets. So now I just need.
You don't have tickets?
What?
No, wait, are they not on sale? Or are they on?
No, they don't go on sale to the 18th and 20th of April.
Oh, of April. I was about to say.
I'm sorry. So yeah, April 15th and 18th. And for those of you who I said not to order them, they go on sale April 19th. Kappa. Yeah, so seriously, they go on sale the April 15th and April 18th. And those are for November 6th and 7th BlizzCon dates. So quite a ways away. As I've been looking at hotels for a week now, and they've been selling very quickly. Yeah. I come back the next day and a whole hotel's gone. It's all right, well.
Looking for a new hotel now.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. Again, that's another thing. I don't know how quickly hotels sell out, or if you wait until November if you're having a drive in every day. I don't know. Anyway, so BlizzCon's coming up. So
yeah, that too.
Get your tickets if you're gonna order stuff. Do it now.
I'd really like to go to check out the status of Overwatch.
Yeah,
I think I'm really excited for that game because I know we're not going to get Warcraft 4, and this is my way of coping with it.
Oh, I know.
I also really, really enjoy first-person shooters, and this looks so freaking fun.
Yeah. This November, I don't really care about the arena, the Warcraft arena championship series. I'll watch it, but it's, I'm not going to go to see that. I'm going to go to watch Hearthstone, and I'm going to go see Overwatch. I know you.
I might watch some Heroes.
Yeah, but say you're a Heroes guy.
Storm, and it's like, I don't think I'll ever really take it seriously. And maybe I will if I get really good, but I like it because it's fun and I get to play with my friends and dig around and just do fun things.
Yeah,
it's not as like serious as Dota or League of Legends yet, but I mean Blizzard's probably just gonna like put a bunch of money into it and say, hey, I'm gonna advertise it here, here, and here, and we're gonna make it super competitive.
Right.
Which, I mean, people have like competitive teams for it already, but
yeah,
I think it's a really interesting game. It's fun and different in some ways.
Right. When it officially launches, I'll check it out. Yeah. And then StarCraft, I'll definitely watch some. Like, I'm not good at StarCraft, but I love StarCraft. So I like watching people.
I don't like StarCraft. I wish I did.
Oh, I love it. I love watching people that are really good at it. Diablo, I like playing it, but I don't know.
Okay, so like Diablo,
I like the story.
Diablo for me has always been a really cool game. The first time around, it's like, oh man, this is really great.
Yep.
Sweet, I won. Now I get to play it again to get gear so I can play it again better.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they call Hearthstone RNG.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I think it's a little too repetitive for me. Like, I'm okay with playing WoW. Actually, not retail WoW, the vanilla WoW server we've been playing on because I'm a total hipster.
Oh, look at you.
It's been fun. For those of you who don't know or haven't listened, Nostalrius is a vanilla WoW server that if you guys are interested in vanilla WoW, you should check out. Lots of people on it though, which it sounds cool, but is bad. But I like RPGs wise, I like WoW because it gives you a lot of options to do things. There's a lot more content than Diablo, and you have more freedom. I think it's not like linear. It's not a campaign per se. Yes,
okay.
Quite.
So that's a little Blizzard update and BlizzCon update. Now on to Meta-Anatomy.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll start with the classes. Let's just keep it simple. I think I've been listening to a lot of watching a lot of streamers, and they've been saying the meta's kind of settled and found its top decks. I think we're getting some surprises every now and then, but right now I feel like it's just cyclical. Where we've been seeing like Bloodlust Shaman kind of make a comeback and jump higher in the tier list, and I mean I've been seeing more of that. I've been seeing more Priest. Yeah, it's just we really are at that cyclical, and I mean that's what the meta is. It's just cycling what's on top. Okay, now we get what's the counter to that, then we find the counter to that, and on and on and on.
I'm glad to see Priest in tier 2. I agree for the most part with his position. Talking about the Tempo Storm tier list, I like the deck Priest. I don't think it's amazing. It has a lot of good matchups and some bad matchups. And if you get a God Hand, you can just wreck almost anybody. And I think it's been sitting in tier 3 for a while, and I never agreed with that because I feel like it has too many good matchups to be in tier 3. I think it's like if you play it well enough and your cards, it has a lot of power, and for the most part can do well in almost any meta. So you're probably always going to see a Priest deck. It's probably never going to be tier 1, but you'll probably always see a Priest deck.
I hope that we do. I really, really, I say this and then I don't like it because people like Amaz make me look dumb. Yeah, I hope that we really do. I mean, I really like the Priest class, and I really want to see more become of it, other than, I don't know, just the control that is relying on combos. But I guess we'll come to that in a second. We'll just go ahead and start with Druid. I've been playing a lot of Druid. That between that and Tempo Mage, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, a lot of ramp Druid, and I have been messing. I've got what I guess I call the mid range Druid that does run the combo, because my ramp Druid does not run the Force of Nature Unleash or Force of Nature Savage War combo.
Right.
My mid range, I do have that, and it's done pretty well. I think I'm still above a 50% win rate, but it's actually not as high as my ramp Druid. But I'm thinking that's just because I'm not really. I think
in the play style.
Well, I think I only have like 10 or 15 games with it, whereas like the ramp Druid I have over 100. So it's
gotta get more games.
I do have to get more games. And we've talked about fatigue.
Right.
Druid. I haven't really seen a lot of that, but I mean, you were saying newer
I
players.
played up against it as a oil rogue and did the prep sprint, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm way ahead of this guy, and then he naturalized my creature, and I was like, oh no, my life is over.
Why do you think more newer players kind of gravitate towards fatigue?
We're talking about that. So like I was saying, my brother played when he first started playing Magic, he gravitated towards Mill. And I think it's like when newer players start playing new games, they want to like, all right, I learned how to play this game. I want to do something different. I want to set myself apart. I want to make a cool deck. And they want to look for alternate win conditions. And Mill is something that's simple and it's easy to understand, and it's different. And Isaac, he was making Fatigue Druid, and I was like, you're seriously doing that? And he's like, yeah, I don't play much ranked, but it's fun and whatever. And I was like, that doesn't surprise me, because it went straight for Mill as soon as he figured out how to play Magic. I think. So.
Which I like Mill in Magic. I know it's a different concept, because it's not so much, all right, if you have this many cards, discard. It is literally discard the cards.
Yeah, right. It's put the top X cards of your library into your into your graveyard, or put cards from the top of your library into your graveyard until you reach X lands.
Right.
Like, it's insane.
Right.
And there are some like insta-mill combos too in Magic, which is really cool. Like, put it in your graveyard until your graveyard has X amount of lands, and then like you have another effect that says like, whenever you mill a card, instead of it going into your graveyard, you put it into exile. And so no cards go into your graveyard, and so they all go into exile, so you just mill the entire deck, and it's like, okay, wait on upkeep. Oh, on upkeep, you have to draw a card. Oh, well, you can't, so good game.
Right. Right.
And that's a huge difference, whereas in like Fatigue in Hearthstone, it's like, okay, I got rid of their cards, now I have to wait for them to die, because I have to wait for them to take a shit ton of fatigue damage.
Right.
Whereas in Magic, it's insta-death.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember reading articles on that when fatigue became a thing, and a lot of players were complaining. From what I understand, Blizzard has stated that they're never gonna, or they've stated that they don't want to go down the road of instant discard. Even if you have one card in your hand, you've got to discard cards. Yeah. With the exception of what is that Meg Giant that you guys hounded me playing in Mech Mage? Was it Clockwork?
Oh, Fel Reaver.
Yes, Fel Reaver. Thank you.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which was a thing before BGH. Yeah. I have won plenty of game because of Fel Reaver, so
he's crazy.
Get on my level.
If BGH wasn't a thing, I would say you're all right. You're okay. You can play. But nah, I don't think it's worth it. They're just gonna be like, oh, that's cool. I'm gonna innovate and play this and play this and play this, and then I'm gonna BGH.
And then I'm gonna BGH. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I've lost games because of it, but it's usually BGH. But I've won plenty of games too.
I haven't won, or I haven't played it in Constructed, but I did play Arena. Like, I got it in Arena, and I misclicked. I meant to get a Force of Nature, and I got Fel Reaver, and I was like, whatever. I ended up getting another Force of Nature. I was like super lucky run, but it didn't lose me any games because of the mill actually. But I only saw it like twice.
Yeah. Okay.
Arena, whatever.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, druids
yeah.
made up of what ramps. We got ramp druid, kind of the combo druid. I guess it's kind of a mid-range druid.
Yeah.
Token druid. I haven't seen a lot of, but I know that's people still play that, which I guess is kind of. I don't know.
Token and Hobgoblin.
Yeah, they're kind of
different decks, but they're similar play styles.
Yeah.
They're not as good and not as competitive, which really is saddening.
I still have a Hobgoblin deck built. It's when it works, it's a fun deck to play.
Yeah.
But it's just not consistent. I can't get it to work.
I think what they should do is they should make it like a 2/4 that gives creatures 1/1 when you summon them, not when you play them. So instead of being a 2/3 that gives +2/+2 to 1/1s, it gives 1/1s that you summon, so it can be tokens, but it gives them +1/+1, and it's a 2/4, so it's harder to remove.
Yeah,
I think that would be cool. Or give it 2/1, or give it 1/2, or something like that.
You're thinking for the same mana cost?
Yeah, for the same mana cost. I mean, you could experiment with mana cost too, but
it's a 3-drop, right?
I think so. Yeah, it's a 3-drop.
Quick.
It's a 3-drop, yes, because I've seen people go coin that and then next turn muster for battle and then go whoops.
Yeah. So I don't know, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like now would be a good time to play a Hobgoblin deck. I've seen Rogue try it.
Might as well. Yeah. I have Rogue.
People aren't running as many board clears as they used to.
Not really, no.
I mean, you still see, obviously, some people have one of, or you still have some in there. I guess depending on the deck.
The mid-range paladin that has seen a little bit of resurgence, a little bit, doesn't run a lot of board clear because it relies more so on tempo just from its creatures.
Right.
So
right. Yeah, and since people, I mean, I'm still playing around mind control tech, so like I don't fill the board up, and is again more druids minus the token druid or the hobgoblin druid. We're talking ramp or mid range. There's less minions on the board, so board clears don't go as far as they used to.
Right.
Overall,
not to say they're not good. It's
no, absolutely not.
Play around it,
or like Mech Mage. I really don't think I've seen a Mech Mage in weeks.
Yeah, it's fallen off. It's just people know
it's still a good deck.
Yeah, it's a solid deck on its own. Same thing with mid-range hunter. Like it's still a good deck. Just like it's gonna get blown out by a lot of the better decks, or not better, but I mean a lot of the more higher tier decks that are played. Like I would say mid-range Paladin, like Control Warrior.
Yeah,
Control Warrior's getting up there too. So
I'm thinking maybe that's why I'm not seeing as much AOE from other players. You're not. I don't know. Even the mid-range hunter doesn't run. If it has a bunch of minions on the board, generally they are Unleash the Hounds. Doggies.
Mm-hmm. And they're going to use that to clear out things.
Exactly. Yeah, they don't use it to fill the board. They use it as a clear or just massive damage to face.
Yeah. Right.
So
that's the druid. And I've noticed like some people are calling the mid-range druid fast druid because they put more into like mid-range. Does mid-range druid run 2 shredders?
Let's see.
Because I know a lot of lists have been running 1, and then they would run Sky Golem or something like that.
Well, I think it depends. Some people are.
I've seen like the people calling it fast druid have just kind of like messed with the numbers and made it a little bit more like, a little better on the lower mana cost. Like they just make everything smaller, basically.
Definitely they're running like shades and I've been running. I don't know if the other decks are. I'm running Earthen Ring Farseers for some heals, not just to my face, but I can if I can do a valuable trade, I can heal back up whatever minion I traded with.
That's not bad. Yeah,
it's a good 3-drop. I've been running Yetis and stuff too. And maybe this is part of my problem. My mid range, I've been trying to run health. I've been trying to get the health advantage with my minions as opposed to kind of taunts and things like that. So, but yeah, no, I know what you mean. The mid range, it's almost like a beefier token way of playing the combo druid. Kind of bigger. It's a little bit slower than the token.
Yeah, mid range, fast, and and combo druid are one and the same. Kinda, I would say. Yeah, they're all just like variants of the same exact deck.
Yeah.
So
I just feel like mid range is called mid range because the minions they play are bigger, beefier.
Yeah,
and that might be the only difference.
Mid range focuses a slightly bit more on the higher end.
Right.
Fast focuses on the middle and early end, and combo it runs two pieces of the combo. So.
Right. All right. So I mean that's druid. Hunter. Mid-range hunter all days. I haven't seen a lot of face. I mean, I run into it every now and then. But
face is always good. I think face will be good for almost entirely throughout the game forever, unless something changes. But mid-range druid has fallen off, and that makes me really sad because mid-range druid is my favorite deck ever. And what is also sad is that I love this deck to death, and people have started running Rag in it, and I was like, oh, Rag is so good. But I don't have it. So mid-range druid has fallen off for two reasons, and I can't really remember.
Mid-range druid or hunter?
Hunter, sorry. Did I say druid?
You did.
Mid-range hunter has fallen off for two reasons, and I can't remember one of them off the top of my head. But one is Kezon Mystic. Kezon Mystic is seeing a lot of play, and we can get into that later because it is specifically in a decent amount of decks now.
I love that card.
I was running this back in January, like Kezon Mystic in my mid-range hunter deck.
Okay.
Because I was playing a lot more, and I was playing up against, like, one day I just went up against, like, 3 hunters and 2 mages in a row, and I was like, I'm done running Kezon Mystic. And it was super helpful. And now a lot of people are running Kezon Mystic. Like, you have mid-range paladins, and you have the different types of warlock decks that are played right now, and the tempo mage, which I really want to get into. And even shaman and other hunters, they're running Kezon Mystic, and your traps and such are just basically going to shut you out,
right?
If they get it, so. And Kezon Mystic on its own is a solid body, so shutter basically, but yeah, for people who enjoy aggro, face hunter, do it, or don't, preferably not, because I hate playing against it.
Oh, me too. Yeah, I mean, I was playing this morning, and I played against a couple hunters that were the mid-range variant, but they were not running traps. I didn't play against one. It was just strictly.
I mean, yeah, you could do that. Yeah,
it was interesting because, my mid-range druid that I've been playing. I mean, I've been really, that one was just kind of built from hand. I mean, obviously I've kind of followed a template, but. I've been throwing Kezon Mystic in that, and it does work against hunters and mages that do run, because mages are definitely running secrets. I've been noticing lately. It does work, and almost to the point where if, let's just say I was playing a game and I had a Kezon Mystic and I got a spare part, the Time Rewinder, and I had 9 mana, and the mage had 2 secrets. Needless to say, I got both secrets. And it was an instant quit, and just rage quit on the other end. It was
so good. What were
beautiful. It was Mirror Entity and
not Counterspell.
What's the one where they when you thank you, Duplicate. Yes, I mean that's what all the mages are doing now. So
kill my Kezon Mystic.
Yeah. So it does work, but so I've been noticing, and the hunters one I played today that was not running secrets still beat me.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
hunters.
It makes sense.
I don't know. They just have so much damage, potential for damage.
Yeah, all of their creatures are just like damage output all day. They don't really care about trading. They will when they have to.
Sure.
But for the most part, your face is tasty, and they want to eat it. So.
Yeah. I got destroyed by the Knife Juggler Unleash combo. That stuff's fun. Was pretty bad. Yeah. Yeah. So hunters, not really much to say there. I'm hoping that we see some more interesting cards come from Blackrock Mountain expansion.
Hunters always be around, regardless. I think
I want to see control one. I want to see people use the Feign Death and
Yeah.
Use more of the secrets, like snipe, for example. I love that secret. I think it's a great. I mean, I had a secret hunter way back when. It did okay. I wouldn't take it to ladder, but it was really fun to play. Where I had basically all the secrets in a deck, and I ran Eagle Horn Bow, and it's just kind of fun to watch your opponent go, what do I do now? This
Why is he
guy's
running misdirection?
Exactly. I've won by misdirection plenty of times. There's nothing better than seeing like a King Crush or something come out and it misdirected into the person's face. That's fantastic. It's fantastic.
I almost considered running King Crush like on its own in this deck because it's just really, for one, it's fun to play.
It is a fun
card. I don't suggest it because it's not very mana efficient, and with my luck, I will draw it or pull it in opening hand like every game.
Right.
Because that's what happens with Dr. Boom.
Yeah.
I have a 1-of Dr. Boom that I draw within the first 2 draws or get in an opening hand 80%, I think it is, 75-80% of the time. Like statistics, not even kidding. And I play this deck a lot.
I think when it's when Control Hunter's finally a thing, if it's ever a thing, that'll be the hell scream of the deck. Kind of. Oh yeah, that's where you finish with. I could see that potentially being a finisher.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I mean, it is a finisher card, but
I don't think it's great right now.
No,
you really don't need that card in mid-range.
It's great in Arena, and it's really, really great when you pull it from an unstable portal.
Yeah,
it's
or
fantastic.
A Mech Warper.
Yeah. Or Mech Warper. What's
Web Spinner?
You mean Sneed's Old Treader?
Yeah, when you pull that from a Mech Warper.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Or that Web Spinner.
Web Spinner.
Yeah, so I mean, Hunter, there's really not much other to say. I haven't seen a lot of differences there. Mid-range, Tempo Storm's saying it's a tier 2. I'll believe it.
Yeah.
It does fine. I guess Face Hunter it is too, as far as they're saying.
Face Hunter's been tier 1 for a while. It's Control Warrior is really, really good right now, so I think Face Hunter is just gonna not play at all against a Control Warrior. So
yeah, I mean, do we think like it's gonna Face Hunter's gonna be good forever? Because everyone said, "Oh, Zoo will be around forever." I haven't seen a lot of Zoo.
I think it'll be around for a while. I don't think it'll be around forever, but I think Hunter will be around forever.
Yeah.
I think Hunter will juggle around tier 2 and tier 1 forever. Just primarily because of that hero power.
Yeah, it's so strong. That's so strong.
Good.
Too strong.
Too strong.
Not
nerve.
All right, on next one, Mage. We're not going to talk about Tempo Mage yet. Talk about it. I know we kind of spoil it usually. Not going to happen this time.
I do want to talk about Mech Mage though. The status of.
Yeah, I don't see him at all. But what do you feel? How do you feel?
I don't know. Like people just stopped playing it, I guess, because they eventually got bored with it, and I never got my Antonitis, so I never got to play it. And I feel like Druids, and again, Kazon Mystic is super good.
Yep. Yeah.
Druids are still up there and still being really good. And whenever I played Mech Mage, I just almost insta conceded to a Druid because there was almost no point in playing. I was very, very, very difficult. So,
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing more. Hopefully, with the adventure mode coming out soon too. There.
Yeah, I would like to see what you can do there.
I don't know. Mech Mage, it's a good deck, but I think you're right. Like, I never really.
It's good on its own. Yeah.
It is a strong. Yeah, I don't know. It's not fun to me. Like those kind of decks where it's just kind of.
I love it.
You just draw and play the card. Like I'm not gonna say there's not thought press involved, but a thought process involved. But it kind of deck kind of plays itself.
It's synergy for dummies, basically.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah,
because it's a tribal.
Yeah,
so
right,
it's like,
right.
Oh, I get to put these cards together because they're mechs. Yay for me!
Right.
Like it doesn't take a lot of thought to make the deck. But the actual deck, like to put together a Mech Mage list, it's pretty easy. I did it when it first came out, and I did pretty well with it. I didn't think it was ever going to be good. Oh, was I wrong? But then again, I wasn't running the list with Mad Scientist and Mirror Entity, which is super, super good. I think if I want to play a Mage right now, it would probably be Tempo.
Yeah.
I saw that back in February.
Yeah.
End of February season. That was weird. Like when I first saw that, and it's definitely a different list than what it is now. But when I first saw it, I was like, what is this guy playing?
Yeah.
And how is he almost beating me?
Sure.
And I would lose to it sometimes, and I would be like, I've seen this like a couple times. How do I beat it? What the heck is this? It's like a draft deck or an arena deck. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, another deck I know it's some people still play, but I don't see a lot is the Echo of Medivh duplicate.
Yeah.
Kind of
people
tempo
took that the
Mage.
Legend the first couple weeks.
Yeah, it's not consistent either, but when it works, oh my god, does it work really well.
It's that overextending thing. Like you have to overextend to make that get the best value. You want 4 minions on board for that to work, and you want to cast Echo when and to most effectively do that, you want to cast Echo after you've played creatures on your turn. So even if they do board wipe, it's like, okay, fine. Like my turn wasn't a waste.
Yes,
I got to fill up my board.
It's kind of like you destroyed 4 minions, but it doesn't matter because I just drew 4 more minions.
Right,
with my
exactly.
Echo. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it takes,
especially when you get like Earthen Ring Farseers and Anti-Keelbots and Noyotrons
right.
and stuff.
But
like
it takes a turn to get to that point, so it's kind of a win more.
Yeah,
deck.
Right. That's why it's not amazing. Like it was a good card for its time. It may see play again if we see like a really cool aggro Mage kind of list. Like that isn't Mech Mage, something like really, really low drops, and then the top curve is like Enhanso Mechano and Echo of Medivh kind of thing. Like if Echo was a Warlock card.
Oh my god! Oh, don't even talk about it. Oh, I'm getting a headache just thinking about that. Yeah, I think we're gonna see it come back around. I really do.
I think it will. I think it'll see play. Like I think it'll see Fringe play a lot, and I think it'll hit like somebody's gonna take it to Legend because they're just gonna brute force it, kind of like how they did with mid-range Shaman. Recently. I think it has potential. It's one of those cards that's going to be around and it's going to be played with like, oh, new cards came out. Let's try it again.
Yeah, right.
It's always going to happen.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Again, we'll get into Tempo Mage here in a minute. Paladin. I have not played a lot of Paladin, I have to admit, in my entire Hearthstone career, if you will. I have all the cards. I need to. I don't know why I don't. And every time I play against one, I'm like, damn it, another Paladin.
It's good stuff.
Why have I not played a Paladin? I don't. What's wrong with me, Tom? What is wrong with me?
Maybe you're still playing Druid and loving it because it's a great deck, and I am envious of you because I've wanted to play Druid 5 ever.
5 ever. That's more than 4.
That's longer than 4, statistically speaking.
What's your thoughts on Paladin right now in the meta?
I'm sad because I don't have it.
Oh,
that's my entire thoughts. I have almost all of the deck except for the parts that matter, like Muster Quarter Pounder. And
gotta get that Muster Quarter Pounder. Yes. Oh, so you don't have Tyrion? Tyrion Fordring? Okay.
Don't have Tyrion. Don't have Sylvanas. Don't have Rag. Don't have Black Knight. Don't have Harrison.
Okay.
Sad day, man. Sad days. I do have Lay on Hands. I have my True Silvers. I have Consecrations, obviously, like all that stuff.
That's such a strong card. I love True Silver Champion.
But 2 strength.
2 strength. It's really good in Arena. I love getting as many of those as I can in Arena.
The mini bots. I have.
Yes. Oh my.
Yes. Holy cow! Random card in that deck, so good. That card is basically a removal spell. That's might as well be what it is.
Can we say that might be one of the best 2-drops in the game? I'm really trying to think what other cards might be the best 2-drop.
No, I think that's. I think that card is.
I mean, by itself, not in combos.
Yeah, one of the best cards in the game. Yeah. I think Knife Juggler back in the day was also one of the best cards. Yeah. Drops in the game.
I love that card.
I don't know if I can think
strong.
of anything else. Frostbolt, maybe. Frostbolt's nuts.
Yeah, so I mean, other than spells, maybe we'll stick just with minions.
Stick with creatures.
Yeah.
Probably that guy. Probably that guy's pretty nuts.
Yeah. That muster.
For a little while, I would have said Snow Sugar.
Yeah. True.
Snow Sugar was dumb.
Yeah.
Snow Sugar was dumb, stupid.
People are dealing pretty well with that now, though.
Yeah.
Coghammer.
So has Coghammer played much of that?
I do. I see it quite a bit.
Okay. Because I have a golden one and I want to disenchant it, but I feel like it's useful. And I don't want to disenchant it because it's an epic. Well, and disenchanting rates suck.
I haven't built one or really looked at their deck list, so I don't know if they're running 2 of or just 1 of, just to have, that extra weapon there. Obviously everyone's running True Silver, so I think there's room for at least another weapon in the deck.
I know for a while people were running Captain Greenskin in the deck. It's cool.
Yeah,
that's super cool.
Yeah, that's kind of a nice. Oh, you put a 5 health minion on the board, and you think I'll have 4? Ah, surprise. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, so what are we getting? We're getting kind of a.
The mid-range Paladin is like one of the best decks right now.
Now,
I would say.
Are they running? Because I've heard pray tell that they're running either 1 equality consecrate or none. Maybe just a consecrate.
Running none, you're pushing your luck there. Either that or you're really going for an aggressive deck.
Okay.
I haven't played it or played up against it enough to say if it's good or not. But then again, I play Oil Rogue and don't care about this matchup.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing I have to worry about is Tyrians, and I just sap those. So fun day. I would run Equality Consecrate. I think running 2 of Consecrate is okay on its own. Even if you're running the aggressive list for it. Probably don't run Pyromancer anymore. Maybe
no, I wouldn't either.
Maybe, but
yeah, I wouldn't. I guess. Do you think the running less of the Equality Consecrate is more of a response to Oil Rogue?
Yeah,
okay.
I would say Oil Rogue and Control Warrior.
Oh, okay, sure.
That's also pretty big.
Okay.
I think running 1 equality is enough. And I almost feel like it's necessary because it's enough utility to blow out an aggro in a mid-range deck, and it's also not too much against like a Control Warrior deck or a Oil Rogue. There we go. Works.
Yeah.
Because even Oil Rogue runs some pretty big creatures that are kind of hard to get rid of. But I mean, True Silver Champion can pretty much deal with almost everything.
Okay.
Well, everything of value, like True Silver Champion and a token can kill almost anything. I would say actually everything. Yeah, everything in that deck can either be killed by a token, True Silver Champion, or True Silver Champion and a token, or something of that matter. But everything in this deck is just super solid. I like the Tempo Storm list. I like how they run a 1 of Mind Control Tech and a 1 of Big Game Hunter. That seems good.
Yeah.
Aldor Peacekeeper. I think Aldor Peacekeeper is probably the biggest card in that deck. Like if you don't have Aldor Peacekeeper, and if you don't have Aldor Peacekeeper and the Muster Quarter Pounder combo, don't run this deck. Even if you have the legendaries, don't do it. Or craft these cards.
Yeah. I feel like this is almost a good response to Dr. Boom or those other bigger creatures, because it's like, well, I don't have a way of getting rid of you right now, and I'm going to hedge my bet that you don't have a silence to silence your own minion once I Aldor you down to 1 attack. Right. Just, pro tip, if you don't know, you can silence the Battlecry effect on your own minions. So,
which is nice.
Yes.
And
so, yeah, if you didn't know that, you can turn your Dr. Boom back into a 7/7 with just a silence. So,
unfortunately, if you're playing Oil Rogue and you get your really, really big guy and they Aldor Peacekeeper it, you can still silence it, but you're not going to get your buff.
Right.
You're just going to go neutral.
I guess you're talking about like your Van Cleefs and stuff like that. You're talking about like if you get the oil buff and all that. Yeah. Okay.
It's going to kill the buff. It's going to kill the buff.
Okay. That's sad. Sad days.
And I've actually seen a lot. Well, not a lot, but I've seen some oil rogue lists running Ironbeak.
Okay.
I just run 2 sap and say dealt with it.
Yeah.
I enjoy what I have. Some people are also still running the Van Cleef and that, but yeah, whatever.
Okay.
That's still when we get to rogue, but
right.
But Pally, yeah, really good. Control Pally, not so much. Mid-range Pally just has like answers for days for every deck out there.
Again, I feel like just control Pallies just because we're not seeing a lot of mass board, decks.
Yep.
Everyone's afraid of mind control tech, so they're playing bigger and less of. That's what I'm seeing anyway. I'm sure. Again, you're still going to see your Zulocks, but there's just not as many. Okay. Yeah. So that's Paladin. Priest, we talked about a little bit. I really, really hope they get something. Well, with these dragons coming, maybe that's it. Maybe we're going to see, all right, you're going to play these big dragons.
Dragon Priest.
And now you can trade and heal them. Maybe, what we were kind of talking about earlier, where you use your minions as your spells, if you will be a thing. I love Priest. I really do.
I do too.
I mean, I play one in WoW. That's my class.
Yeah. I also have a Priest in WoW.
Gotta love it.
That. I can't.
I don't know.
I can't wait to see Priest become tier 1. And I don't know if it ever will be, but I want it to. So bad. It's just so cool.
Yeah, maybe I'll. I think
Combo Priest. I'd like to see Combo Priest be hit legend. I know it never will, but I want it to so bad.
I might have to bust out a Thief Priest and start playing my Cabal, Shadow Priest, and Shrinkmeisters again. Maybe that's a thing. I don't know. I have to give it a try. I did enjoy that when that came out.
Cool.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed that when that came out.
Again, I don't think it's an amazing deck, but it definitely has potential.
Yeah. I just, I feel bad for the Prophet Valen, or Valen, depending on your WoW pronunciation. I feel so bad for that card. It wants to do work, but at 7 attack, it just gets pushed on.
What? Yeah, if it was a 6 or if it was 6 attack,
it needs to be buffed to 6/7.
Yeah.
I feel really weird saying that, but. I love watching Twitch chat, and they say, whenever Dr. Boom comes out, because it comes out every game, you can guarantee it. It's always Dr. Balance, Dr. Balance. And I was watching today, and I see people say, nerf, finally just nerf Dr. Boom to 6/7 already. Kappa. I know. It does make me laugh on the inside, because everyone knows what that means, but...
I don't think it... Honestly... Gross. Sorry. I don't think it needs touching at all. I think it's fine. I think it's kind of leveled out. It's not played in every deck.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it.
I'm
surprised. I'm surprised people are still talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it a lot. I'm of the camp that if I don't think that card's like an Undertaker, where it's just it has such an impact on the game turn 1. This, you've got several turns to prepare for it, but we're also getting new cards. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I mean, we talked about Miracle Rogue. I want it to be a thing. I know it went away because of spare parts. It's not necessarily the deck's fault, but we got answers to that deck, and we're not really utilizing them because that deck's not around anymore.
Yeah, I think honestly, Oil Rogue isn't too far from it, and Oil Rogue
is not. You're right.
Fun deck.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah,
I never played Miracle Rogue. I wanted to. I didn't get to do it, but I think I think it's just. I mean, it's just a better deck. Honestly, it feels more fun to play.
Well, I mean, we talked about Priest. Let's just go. Rogue's next. Let's just go into it. Oil Rogue, you've been playing a lot of it. What are your thoughts? Fun. Yeah.
So it's a great deck. Very difficult to play. I'm not even that good at it. There's a couple different variants of it too. Some people run Van Cleef. Some people run what's his name? Shade of Naxxramas.
Yeah.
They're all valid things to do. Right now I'm just running a very, very standard list with I cracked my Blood Mage, got my Blood Mage a little while back.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
I was happy about that. And it's also very cheap, but being the fact that it's very cheap, it's also very difficult. You need you need preps. Like that's really the only expensive card you need. You don't need Blood Mage Thalanos. I was playing this for a while without Blood Mage. It's just really, really helpful. That extra little bit of extra damage for backstab and a little bit of extra damage. Like throwing down a Blood Mage Thanos turn 2 and backstabbing their Mech Warper was so helpful.
Or are you playing Blade Flurry? Or I'm sorry, Fan of Knives?
Yeah, as a 1-of. Some people like to play it as a 2-of.
Yeah.
I play it as a 1-of because I don't play up against a lot of aggro. It's great against Pally. I might run 2 now because Pally's so big, but I have 2 Blade Flurries, so I should be okay.
Okay.
But it's a great deck. It has a lot of burst potential. It can get through a lot of controlled matchups. It has a problem against Control Warrior. It doesn't have that big a problem against like Demon Control Lock. It's a kind of a shaky matchup against Handlock, because Handlock can get out those big taunts and heal for a lot. But if you play it right and burst them down, and just get the right cards, and they end up not getting the right cards, and sap when you need to. Sap is a huge card in that matchup. You can come out on top. It's very possible.
Yeah, I feel like against Handlock, the name of the game is to not do damage until, for the most part, until you can actually kill them.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Just kind of holding off.
You want to like letting them juggle around 25 life is fine. I've done it around 20. Like when I'm okay to hit, I'll hit them in the face, but I usually don't go below 20 until I'm ready to kill them, or I'm ready to put them down really, really low.
You don't want to.
I've seen people like. I don't think I've ever had somebody play Jiraxis against me. I've seen it played, but it came out of a Void Walker, or not Void Walker, Void Caller.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Okay. Sure. Hit the board. Yeah.
And it didn't get the battle cry effect, which was very nice.
Yeah.
But it actually ended up winning him the game, which sucked. Sad face. Whatever. But Control Warrior, sucky matchup. The Handlock that people are playing now is also kind of a sucky matchup because they have more of a better early game. Traditional Handlock, you're fine. The newer Handlock, which we can get into later, is a little more difficult.
Okay.
But overall, it's fun deck, cheap for the most part. I crafted my preps, I think. Yeah, I think I crafted those preps. Jeez, that was a lot of dust.
Okay.
But it's a simple deck on its own, hard to learn how to play. You have to put like upwards of 200 games into this before you get really good into it.
Okay.
But other than that, there's no really other rogue decks I've seen except for who was it? What was his name? I'm trying to find Ting Tong. Made a like aggro rogue deck.
Okay.
It called it Cycle Rogue. I haven't seen this played. I heard about it. I think it was on Reddit. I saw this.
Okay.
It's weird. It's got like looking at this list, 2 Backstab, 2 Deadly Poison, 2 South Sea Deckhand, 2 Blade Flurry, Blood Mage. All right, so this kind of sounds like Oil Rogue. I mean, Oil Rogue only runs 1 South Sea usually.
Right.
Defias Ringleader, Eviscerate, Goblin Auto Barber, Novice Engineer, Shiv, Edwin Van Cleave, Perdition's Blade, SI7 Agent, Wolf Rider, No Mission Inventor, Tinker Sharpsword Oil, and Azure Drake. Super weird.
Wow.
Kind of cool.
Card draw, tokens on board, 2 that's trippy.
It's weird.
Okay.
It's weird.
I have to take a look at that one.
Yeah, I might try this out actually. It's apparently tier 2 on Tempo Storm.
Okay.
I saw this a couple days ago, I think, on Reddit.
Okay.
And I didn't really pay much attention to it. I was just like, okay, that's cool, whatever. And I saw it on the tier list today, and I was like, oh, so it's actually a thing.
Okay. I have to admit,
cool.
Beyond that, I've been losing when I see it because I'm expecting a Oil Rogue, and then I see Goblin Auto Barbers and Iron Sensei's drop, and I'm So
you played against it? Oh, well, you played against
the Mech Rogue.
Mech Rogue. Okay.
It's a bad day when I see. Was it turn 2 Anoyotron, turn 3 Iron Sensei, turn 4 Iron Sensei?
Oh Jesus Christ!
That's a bad time. And then they drop an auto, auto barber, and it's it's a bad day for me if I can't clear the board early.
While back, I played up against a pirate mech rogue.
Interesting.
So weird. It was like pirate mech tempo rogue. So weird.
Huh.
And it ran one-eyed cheat and
really
ship's cannon.
Okay.
And just like weird stuff. It was so weird, and it kicked my ass. But I think Kriparian played it, and and people were like, "Oh, it's so good," and started playing it or whatever.
I want pirates to be more of a thing. I really do.
Yeah, I think it would be cool.
The ship's cannon's a cool card.
Yeah,
I mean,
only it was a mech. Oh, it was so cool.
Yeah.
Ship's cannon has won me some games in Arena, man.
Yeah, no, that's a good card.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Because I remember the first time I actually like read that card, I was like, all right, it's a 2/3 the Pirates. All right, got it. Two, like the card is a 2-drop 2/3, and the description is Pirates. That's it. Mm-hmm. So I played it in Arena, and I played it, and I was like, all right, whatever. And then I drew Salty Dog, and I played Salty Dog, and I saw it do a thing, and I was like, oh yeah, it does a thing. It was a fun day.
I mean, so that's again other. I mean, all the rogue decks seem to have a kind of a similar theme. Yeah. I guess it's kind of like the token druid versus the mid range druid. You know, your end game's the same. It's just kind of what menus used to get there are a little different.
Right. Right.
I don't know.
It's cycle rogue deck.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of them. Usually it's oil rogue. So good decks though. I if you can learn how to play the oil rogue well, definitely give it a try. Definitely. Yeah. It's fun. I haven't played enough games to say I'm at all good at it. I think I'm under 10, but it is a lot of fun. Even if you lose, it's a lot of fun.
I think it's fun. Well, when you lose a shit ton in a row, it gets really obnoxious.
What deck does not get that way?
Well, right.
All right. Well, we'll just go on to the Shamans. Bloodlust is the thing again.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from. Honestly, I haven't seen it played.
I've seen it a few times. I think it's more of one of those, like, just pull it out of your back pocket because no one expects it. And next week,
this is mid-range. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, God.
Next week, it won't be a thing because people are going to be expecting it. Right. And I like that. I like that meta. I don't, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not be bad because of it.
Play it now.
Yeah. I think this is one of those decks that you keep kind of in the my deck section of the game, and just every couple weeks you pull it out and surprise someone, get some levels, and then stop playing it.
Right.
I really like it. So we talked about we weren't going to talk about the Blackrock Mountain cards, but was it Lava Burst?
Oh yeah.
Have you seen that?
The Lava Burst is in the game. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's the I don't remember exactly what the mana, but basically it unoverloads you. Yeah, that is going to be huge.
That's probably going to be ridiculous.
I call it right now. That's going to be huge. Yeah. That just opens up so many possibilities.
Sorry, I was talking to my brother-in-law. I think we were thinking up like ideas of cards and stuff, and I would like to see like a card that does damage equal to the amount of overload you have.
Oh, that'd be neat.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think Burst Shaman would be nuts off of that.
Yeah. I'll talk about going all in.
Yeah.
Wow. That would be interesting.
It'd be fun.
That'll come.
It would be cool.
That'll come. You heard it here first.
Turn 9 you go Feral Spirit, Lava Burst, Lightning Storm.
Right.
So you have 4 mana next turn.
Well,
and here we go.
The one card that when I first started playing I liked was Unbound Elemental. It's a 2/4 for 3. Whenever you play a card with Overload, gain 1/1. It's a Shaman minion. I really like this card.
Like, it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, a silence shuts it down, but it's still a 2/4 even if it's silenced, and you burn a silence. Now you've got other cards that you don't have to worry about being silenced. But the Overload has always hindered Shaman, and I've always felt like Shaman need board control. Even its totems are important. And any mana that you don't have is a huge disadvantage. I never really had a problem with Feral Spirit because you got 2 minions out of it, even if you know kind of lost out 2 mana on the next turn. It really hurts you when you're playing it like, you know, turn 5 and then turn 6 you can't play your Fire Elemental, which is definitely one of the, in my opinion, one of the best cards in the game.
Right.
6/5 for 6, Battlecry, deal 3 damage.
That in Arena is absolutely.
Oh yeah, get as many of those as you can.
Yeah, that's like flame strikes for mages.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know, and then we saw the Dune Maul Shaman in GVG, 5/4 for 4 Wind Fury, 50% chance to detect the wrong enemy, but it's, you know, it's got the Wind Fury and it's a strong card.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've seen it once in Constructed, but maybe with this adventure mode we might see more play if I don't know.
I want Wind Fury to be a thing. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I want it to be a thing because
I think
it wasn't like in Magic because you have Double Strike, which is basically the same thing.
Right.
It wasn't like Double Strike wasn't really a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
But there were decks that utilized it in ways that you really needed to. Like Berserk Stompy was a deck that I can't remember like all the cards or whatever, but the point is that like I buff a guy to like 10 attack and then hit you, and then before I hit you I give it Double Strike and now you're dead. Or I buff an infect guy to 5 attack and then swing at you and then I give it Double Strike and now it basically has quadruple strike because it has infect.
Last when I made, I guess the only time I've ever made the strongest push I've made for Legend, I played a lot of games that month. I was playing Crusher Shaman way several months ago, and I was running Windspeaker, 3 for 4 Battlecry, give him a friendly minion. Winfrey is winning one of. But what made it work was if I could get to the end game, I would Wind Fury either Fire Elementals. I run one of Earth Elemental. And then I was running Ancestral Spirit, which is get Death Rattle, resummon this minion. That way, if the board got, quote, cleared, I'd still have a minion on the board to buff for the next turn. That was kind of the finisher in that deck. It doesn't really work now. I think it's too slow, and then you put the slowness in a Shaman deck, which I think are already a little slow. Yeah, it's really slow.
I would like to see Reincarnate Shaman be a thing.
Yeah,
it was really Frenchy for a bit there, but I like it.
Control decks lose to it, definitely, because you're giving that slow deck time to ramp up. To me, that's kind of the Control Warrior, where everyone says, oh, they run a bajillion legendaries. So does the Reincarnate Shaman. It's a fun deck, but it's really slow.
Yeah, and expensive.
Yeah. If you're playing against a control deck, you might do very well, but any aggro deck's gonna just eat you alive.
Yeah, your turn 7 Sylvanas Reincarnate combo is so good sometimes.
Yeah.
It's also really good when you have KT in the same deck.
KT, Sneasel Shredder. Just literally you play a 2 mana and get a free legendary. Okay, please.
Or play KT and reincarnate your KT.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So good.
KT's for days.
Oh god.
Yeah.
That would be a good time.
Other than that, I mean, so Bloodlust Shaman, the spell damage, what's that dragon? Malagos? I had, apparently some people have been playing that recently. I have never played up against it, but I know what it is. Have you seen it before?
I haven't played up against it either, but I also know. Yeah,
I've seen it played, but I haven't played it or played against it yet. That's just, if you lose to that, it's kind of like, well, you gave the shaman the opportunity to play it, so you get,
all right,
they
whatever.
win. Yeah, you win. Good game. It's just a super greedy spell deck. It's fun. I mean, it looks fun anyway. Apparently some people have been playing that. Other than, I really can't think. Shaman's just been kind of in a pit for several months. Yeah. I feel bad for him.
Yeah, it stinks. I mean, mid-range Shaman is like a decent deck. We saw that aggro mech shaman for a little bit.
Yeah,
and,
no, that did pretty well. You're right. Yeah.
that was okay. Like,
yeah.
that was that. I don't think. I don't like when it was tier 1. I wasn't a giant fan of it. Like, I wouldn't say it was perfect, and I don't think it was great for tier 1, but I do think it was definitely playable, and you could definitely hit legend with it.
I think it relied more on the element of surprise, and
Right.
and it was synergistic, but there wasn't enough synergy. Kind of like Mage is synergistic, but it has a lot of synergy. You know, you throw down a Whirling Zap-O-Matic, and then you hope that you've got like a Power Mace or a Flame Tongue Totem to back it up the next turn. If you don't have that, well.
Yeah, that
sorry.
deck was centric around the Whirling Zap-O-Matic. And I know Matt he got his perfect God Hand turn 3 win, which was nuts.
I mean, it happens, but it doesn't happen,
often enough.
Right. It's a good chance for you to get that opening hand ish, I guess, if you do the math, but I don't know. It doesn't happen enough, in my opinion.
Right.
And people went legend with it. It's possible. I mean, we said, any decent deck, you can go legend if you play enough games with it, definitely.
Right.
Yeah, so that's Shaman in a nutshell. Warlock. So
here we go.
Yeah, go ahead. You've got it. You have something to say.
So Zulok, I saw a little bit starting out this season. Not a thing really. And then there's Handlock, traditional Handlock, which also is and then Demon Control Lock was a decent for a bit, which I don't really know why people called it Control. It was basically a mid-range deck. But the hybrid of Demon and Handlock is working pretty well right now.
Yeah.
It's I don't think it's amazing, but I do think it's playable. I don't know all of the difference between Demon Handlock and Demon Lock.
Well, I've seen different versions of it. Like today I played against, and I've played this deck too, where they run a Mistress of Pain and Demon Heart. Is it Demon Heart? Yes, Demon Heart. Deal 5 damage to minion. If it's a friendly demon, give it 5/5 instead. So
right. Okay.
They'll play, basically buff the Mistress of Pain. But I have seen Demon Lock decks that don't run these two cards. So I really still don't know what to expect. Obviously
the handlock version, from what I've seen, is control-y and has less early game. But this handlock version has much more early game than the other handlocks.
Okay.
It's got an abusive sergeant to close out games.
Okay.
It's got Sun Fury Protectors and Ancient Watchers and whatever, Iron Beak Owls. It seems like, so I saw Earthen Ring Farseer a lot a while back, kind of fell off. I am seeing it a little bit more now. I've seen people run Felguard. Felguard's pretty good.
Really?
Hit the 4 drops. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, like as a one of, it's pretty decent.
I guess
you really don't need your coins. You don't need your mana.
So I guess either that or they're waiting. Oh, that's true. Or they're hoping for a clutch Void Caller Death Rattle.
Yeah, something like that probably.
Okay.
And also Void Caller is the main thing.
Yeah,
it's just Void Caller is a good body on its own, and then the Death Rattle is really threatening.
I know to expect those regardless.
Yeah. My strategy I found when playing up against Void Caller is kill it as soon as it comes out.
Yes, yeah, right.
Because you don't want them to draw into more demons if they don't have a demon in their hand.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's the only thing you can play if you're playing as a handlock. If you can kill a Void Caller and they don't get anything out of it, huge play. Well, especially if you run obviously if you run a Shredder into it, it's still a good play. I'm trying to think of something else, but basically, like, if you're not hitting face and you're hitting that thing and you're trading some damage for it, it's okay. Especially if you don't get a demon out of it, it's good.
I feel like the percentage of them getting something like of them dropping like a Mal'Ganis on turn 4 because you killed their Void Caller, kind of the good bad cost ratio. I don't even know what you necessarily want to call it. is better to go ahead and just get rid of it before they tap and get more demons in their hand.
And even like Mal'Ganis in this deck is not that big a deal because they really don't run that many demons. Like they run Felguard.
That is true, yeah.
And Voidcaller.
And it dies to Big Game Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you want Mal'Ganis to, in my opinion, I think you want Mal'Ganis to either come stupid early and hope that they don't have an answer, or really late and they've already used other answers.
Yeah, not to say that Mal'Ganis is a bad card, because
no, it's not.
It's just that like its synergy with the demons is not super important in this deck, and it's not very relevant. Like I've seen some people run the Mistress of Pain. I've seen people run like 2 of Mistress of Pain, 1 of Mistress of Pain. Some people run like a 1 of Floating Watcher. And when you get that heavy into demons, it's more of a demon lock deck rather than a demon handlock deck. But I kind of like the demon handlock deck a little better, because it's handlock with a little more oomph. Like in the mid game, you can do something. It's less control-y. It's more mid-rangey. So,
yeah, I'm kind of with you, Mal'Ganis. Anytime I've ever used it, I've never really used it for
for the anthem effect.
Yeah, it's the hero is immune, and then the big body. That's what I've always used it for.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the dream obviously is to Lord Jaraxxus turn 9, Mal'Ganis turn 10.
Yeah.
That's the dream.
Golly.
Yeah. I don't know. It does pretty well, and I've played it quite a bit. The Demon Handlock. I like it. I personally like the play style. But there's a lot of variations of it as far as what minions are in it. Like you were saying, Floating Watchers. I've seen 2 ofs, I've seen 1 ofs, I've seen none ofs.
Yeah.
Always gonna have a Void Caller. Mistress of Pain. I don't see a lot of them, but when I do,
those are off and on.
Yeah,
I would say.
I
like them. I think they're okay. I don't think they're amazing.
Yeah.
They're better for the demon lock deck itself because it's more centric around demons, and buffing that creature is really good. Handlock doesn't run power overwhelming, but the demon lock does sometimes run like a 1 of.
Right.
And power overwhelming that thing and trading into something is amazing.
I have
I'll sacrifice my creature, but I'm still going to get 5 health out of this, and I'm going to kill your dude.
Right.
It's pretty good.
I have seen more people run Soulfires, which I thought those were kind of gone.
Really?
Yeah, I know. That's what surprised me too, because it's when it was 0 cost, it was kind of an auto include, but no matter what the deck was, for the most part, you didn't really mind discarding a card, even with these larger minions. But with its 1 mana, for some reason, that's just enough to make people not, for the most part, run it. But for a while, we weren't seeing it all. But I've been seeing a lot more of it recently. I guess they just want that 4 damage. There's a lot of 4 health minions on the in the meta right now. Overall, not just warlocks. So it just does that 1 little bit of extra damage compared to like Dark Bomb. I still like Dark Bomb over it. I don't think the card discard is worth it. Maybe except for Zoolock. I still think Soulfire is fine in Zoolock, even at 1 cost. But
I was running a 1 of Hellfire in my Zoolock.
Okay.
For a while.
Yeah. Just if you get behind,
it saved my ass countless times. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you get behind, it gives the opportunity to come back ahead.
Yeah. Sadly, though, Zoolock not so great. It's okay.
Yeah.
Early on, but not amazing. Not amazing. Anywhere past the early stages of a season.
Yeah.
So.
Well, all right. So, anything else about Warlock? I mean, I don't think there's any big changes.
I don't think so. Yeah, no.
No. All right. Well,
not a big deal. Really.
Yeah.
It's going up. The handlock, the demon handlock deck is much better than the actual handlock deck, but overall, I'm not a fan of it. I don't like playing against it. I haven't played it.
Okay.
But handlock was one of the first decks I really wanted to make, and I just kind of grew out of that preference. So
I like it. If you ever do, I still have a handlock deck. I love that deck.
Yeah,
it's almost as good as Control Warrior.
Yeah, here we go.
But actually, next is Warrior. Now, before we talk about Warriors, even though there's really nothing's really changed, we kind of talked about Shaman going to get a card that's going to, I think, improve their chances in the meta, the constructed ladder meta.
Yeah.
Warrior, I think, is going to be getting some cards too.
I hope so. I hope to God. Not just because I hate Control Warrior, but because I want to play a Warrior deck.
Yeah.
But I don't want to play Control
Well,
Warrior.
and it's so I'm going to be a little stingy and say I like playing Control Warrior, but I want people to go, oh crap, am I playing against a Control Warrior or am I playing against Warrior class type? Bleh, whatever that bleh may be.
Axe thrower.
Yeah, Axe Warrior. That will the Gang Warrior. I don't know, because they're going to have that 3/3 that duplicates whenever it takes damage. And that card,
I think Ping Warrior could be really cool.
Yeah, well, and I've been thinking about that because that's not the only class that's going to be able to do that. I'm wondering if Mage is going to take advantage of this too. They've got pings, they've got ways of damaging.
Yeah,
in a way, damaging their own minions.
Oh my god, dude, Arena's gonna be cool.
Yeah, well, and that's
my god,
that's what I'm afraid of. Is Mage is already on top.
Better from this.
It does,
Arena, and it doesn't need that.
I know it doesn't.
Dang it.
So constructed, I think it's probably gonna lean more towards those cards that we're talking about are gonna lean maybe more towards Warrior. That's to be seen, but I definitely think Arena Mage is just gonna get even better. It's like, so I got 4 Flame Strikes, 6 Fireballs, 8 Frost Bolts, and then some of these cards duplicate whenever I ping them. Thanks. GG.
Some of these cards duplicate whenever I mirror entity off your ass.
Yeah. So, well, okay, so all that aside, Warrior. It's been Control Warrior, and I've seen a little bit of those kind of... Enraged Warrior, I've seen kind of come back a little bit with the Raging Worgens and what is that? Frothing Berserkers. So it's more whenever they're looking to deal damage just to buff minions. They're not. I don't know. I think I've seen enough of them over the past year that I know how to play against them. I don't really worry about them. Control Warrior is just such a strong deck still. I really want to see more. I really do.
Yeah, I think when BlackRock comes out, I would like to see a Ping Warrior deck, dealing 1 damage to your creatures and stuff. And you can still run some of the Control Warrior combo synergies in there. I would you definitely be running Whirlwind. You got Whirlwind, Cruel Taskmaster. What's the other thing? The axe that I can never remember the name of. Death Spite.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So you got those for to damage your minions, and then things that benefit from that. Oh, and Inner Rage. So that's 4 right there.
Yeah.
That's 4 self-ping things. It's really good.
Yeah.
Warbot is an Enrage. That's fine.
Do you like that card? I don't like that card. Warbot.
I don't either. But for the sake of this deck.
Okay. All right, I'm following you.
One of,
I'll stay with you.
And I think that's an okay one of. And this is all totally just it's probably not gonna work, but screw it. Do that. You have so much to set up for this deck, and with this say I have 3 people on board. Let's just say I have 3 people on board, and I have that axe thrower guy out as one of those 3 people, and I Whirlwind. That's 6 random damage.
Sure.
That's really good right there. Especially if they don't have a board. 6 damage to the face.
Right.
You can slam. Slam. You can use slam. Slam would be decent. Draws a card, deals damage to your creatures. You could use Rampage, give a damaged creature +3/+3. Armor Smith the whole time you're gaining health virtually.
Yeah. Doing damage and gaining health. Yeah.
Probably gonna suck. But then again, I said that same thing about Mech Mage, and I was really wrong. Well, and I really want this thing to be a thing. I want this to work.
I didn't want to do this, but let's theorycraft just a little bit. One thing I haven't liked about Warrior is their card draw, unless you ran cards like Slam or Acolyte of Pain. Other than that, though, getting minions out on the board is also
Acolyte of Pain. That's another card.
Yeah. Yeah. Getting cards out on the board. Now that we're getting some of these dwarves and dragons.
Dwarf Tribal Inc.
Yeah. Our warriors can be able to push out minions quick enough.
Maybe it depends on the mana costs.
So I mean, well, let's talk about 1, 2, 3 drops. What? Because
okay, so like in this deck, Battle Rage, draw a card for each damaged friendly character. Like there's so much synergy.
I want that to be a thing.
Could be made now, but it would be bad. It would be very
bad. Here's my problem with this though. Like cards like Battle Rage, it requires you to have cards on the board.
Right. That's I entirely agree. I agree.
I'm going to call this now. I think we were talking earlier about there being not a lot of board wipes where there several months ago everybody had a board wipe or multiple board wipes. If this is going to be a thing where this Rage Warrior, I think board wipes are going to come back in a mass.
Yeah.
But you know what? That just strengthens decks like...
Yeah, but you got to play it that one time, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But, this is what I like. So if that's a thing, then board wipes are going to be a bigger thing, which means Oil Rogue's going to be even better.
Yeah.
Ramp Druid's going to be even better. All these other decks. This is what I wanted. I want to see so many different... These decks are so good, but you're going to definitely lose against this.
I'm going to make this list, and I'm going to fine-tune it.
Okay.
And when Black Rug comes... I'll pre-order Black Ramus.
Black Ramus. Get that Black Ramus.
Order Black Ramus right now. That's what I'm gonna do.
Hashtag Black Ramus. You heard it here first. DRC. Yeah, I really can't wait. You know what? So the reason why I didn't really want to talk about the cards is because we don't know what cards are going to be released on what weeks, and the meta is going to be completely different from week to week, just like it was in Naxxramas,
which is going to be awesome.
Yes,
because I didn't do that in Naxxramas because I didn't have the time to play.
It was a little bit frustrating because it's kind of like, oh, I'm going to play this. Oh, this deck is horrible this week, and then I delete it and come back. Oh, I bet that deck would have been really good this week. It's I don't know. I feel better about the game. I feel more confident in my playstyle. Right. So I don't think it'll be as big of a deal this turnaround.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna enjoy it. So
I kind of like this too. We've talked about power creep a little bit. I think this is a good way to not keep the game stale, which I kind of feel like I'm a little bit into that. Not as much as I was pre-GVG post-Nax, but this is a good way to not have power creep be a thing, but also keep the game interesting. Just add a little bit in there so the meta changes a little bit. But new players or players that maybe don't have a bunch of cards, I don't think you're going to feel like too far behind. And you're guaranteed the cards if you get the, it's not like I got to open a bajillion packs.
I don't want them to do this for everything. But
no,
I do want them to do this. Like a lot of people, like I would guess more spikes, more competitive players are they want to play with only good cards. They only want to see good cards, and they don't really care about the PvE. They just want to go and play ranked and have good cards and whatever. But I mean, this is really cool. Like you can't do this with other card games. This is what sets this apart from other card games. And this, like, as much as I hate it when Blizzard caters to the casuals, this is one way to cater to the casuals and not make the game bad.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it. I enjoy it too.
Mm-hmm.
I would go so far as to say.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Nax. I mean, I did it. I did all the heroics. I got that wonderful card back. The PvE is awesome. It was a lot of fun. I mean, we've talked about the Hunter Challenge where it was nothing but the spiders. What is that one drop? Why can I not think of that? Web spinner. Where all you got was web spinners. And then there was that.
You mean Mech Warper, right?
Oh no. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Or the one where it was, I cannot remember who it was, but basically the idea was to put as many minions on the board as you could, and then you kill their minions, which buff your minions multiple times. So
the world.
It was the enemy had high health, and it was all about buffing your minions by killing theirs. I wish I could remember it.
Lotheb?
Yeah, it was Lotheb. Thank you. Yep, that's exactly who it was. Yeah, the Lotheb fight.
I'm so good.
The Lotheb fight was
so
a lot of fun. Yeah, because there were spores.
Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly what it was. I really, really liked that fight. And then there were some fights where I hated. But I beat him, thankfully. I don't have to go back and do them again.
I never did the Hero X. Well, I attempted them, but I never went through with it. So
they're fun. Well, and during that time, especially because of Undertaker, Zoo was a thing. I did a lot of those with Zoo. Just zooed my way to victory. We'll see if that's a thing anymore. Way to victory. That's right. All right. Well, anything? I've been watching a lot of tournaments. I don't know. I really like where the scene's going. As far as tournament play goes. Have you watched any of the new version? God, I am having a brain fart today. The new way that they're doing it, where when you win with a deck, you're not allowed to play it again. Is it the command? Oh my God, I'm such a noob.
Wait, what do you mean?
So used to be where Conquest. Thank you. That's I can think of it.
Oh, okay.
It used to be if you won with a deck, if you lost a deck, you couldn't play with it again. Now it's if you win with the deck, you can't play with it again. I think that it makes the tournament scene a lot more fun to watch. And you're not sweeping, going 3-0 with or anything like that with just one deck. I'm really liking that. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what else comes from that. Anything else you can think of? I mean, we've talked about all the decks. Anything you want to say? We haven't had a rant this week.
I'm bored with ranting about Control Warrior.
Okay. Tom, rant. What? I don't even know what to rant about. I don't
either.
I feel I'm just happy.
God.
I'm happy.
God. Does this mean we get to expend a rant charge on another?
I don't know.
Stream? You know why we're not ranting? It's because Matt isn't here.
Oh,
he's the fuel to the fire. It's all his fault.
Well, I feel like it's just good times coming. I mean, the adventure mode's coming. That's good. BlizzCon's coming. That's good.
Let's rant about things that we rant because we can't rant.
That's right. Yeah. Rabble. Well, we'll go ahead and end this segment, and we'll be right back with Deck of the Week. DRC would like to thank Brainiacs for their support of this podcast. If you have a tech idea for improving your business's workflow, Brainiacs can provide a turnkey solution to specifically fit your needs. You can contact them at www.brainiux.com. Welcome back. This is Deck of the Week. I am Mike Tattoo Hearn, and I'm joined again by Tom Just Soup Jessup. Today, we're going to talk about Tempo Mage. Deck's been around for quite a while, but I feel like as far as the tournament scene goes, it hasn't seen a lot of play up until recent, and it's kind of made a big resurgence, in my opinion, the last couple of weeks. It's a lot of fun. I was, talking to Just Soup. I feel like it's kind of like playing a arena hand in Constructed. That's how I felt anyway.
Exactly what it is.
Yeah. So I don't know. I like it. It kind of plays like and there's a Echo duplicate version of this, but I used to play. I have a deck called Copy Paste, which relies heavily on the duplicate and Echo Medivh, but it's more about just getting big minions on the board, then duplicating them and then replaying them, like your Lothebs and your Sludge Belchers and things like that. This is more of a aggro-y, mid-range.
It's weird.
I like it because it gives me so many options. I mean, a typical game for me.
It's one of those decks that just runs good cards and has a lot of play. I
mean, that's kind of like Arena. Get the best cards that you can and just play them on curve. It has a really, the version I'm playing, I feel like the lower mana cards are kind of the same. I mean, I'm running kind of, your Mana Worms, and as far as minions go, Mana Worms, Mad Scientist, No Chuggers, and...
Do you have Zombie Chow?
I do not, but I have seen versions run that. as far as unstable portals is definitely something you play.
Yeah, that's one of the off-putting things about that deck for me is the unstable portal.
Yeah.
Love that card. It's so cool, but I can't play it.
Yeah.
I will die.
Well, I told you this morning, I got a 3 mana cost Karen Bloodhoof. Fantastic.
Unfair.
And it was golden. Fantastic. I feel like this is the deck that best uses unstable portal.
Yeah, I would agree.
So far from what we've seen. Mad Scientist, obviously you're running 2 of those because you are running mirror entities and duplicates, at least my version of the deck. I'm pretty sure everyone's running that because it's about tempo, and I feel like mirror entities a very good tempo card. Duplicate's kind of the same, where it's not immediate tempo, but it's next turn tempo, I guess.
Yeah.
Duplicating your Mana Worm's not very good. Duplicating your Mad Scientist isn't very good, but marinating just about anything else you could play.
You mean duplicating?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen people run Counterspell. I don't disagree with that. I think Counterspell's fine.
That's again, that gives you tempo. Yeah, I could see that.
I feel like Duplicate's still good to run though. You got Loatheb, so that can also count as.
Yesterday I played 3 Loathebs in one game. It was fantastic. Fantastic.
So good.
Yeah,
I would play this deck if I had the cards and had the dust to make it. I can get everything in that deck except for Rag and Sylvanas.
See, here's the thing. I have seen a version of that where like you're running Sylvanas and you said Rag. Yeah. My version, the only legendaries I'm running are Blood Mage Thalanos. That's a little bit for kind of early game because I run Flame Cannons and
I have him. What's up?
Yeah. And Frostbolt. So that kind of pushes it to the 4 damage. Kind of early game.
Yeah.
And you get the card draw. But my big minions are Loatheb, Archmage Antonidas, and Alexstrasza.
Archmage Antonidas?
Yeah.
Really?
It has done some work for me. It's kind of like, we talked about Mech Mage, where if you kind of lose your early mid game, this is kind of your plan B to finish.
Yeah. And the thing about that was that, I mean, Mech Mage didn't really run a lot of spells. It ran
right. You're relying on spare parts.
That and Frostbolt, Fireball, and something else, right? Unstable Portal. Some people ran.
Sometimes, maybe one Flame Strike. Yeah.
And then like there were secrets that you could play too.
Sure.
But that deck has more potential. Well, I guess wouldn't say more potential, but it does have obvious potential because it runs so many spells. I'm so used to seeing Antonidas hit the board and somebody gives it +1 attack, and then they play the stealth thing on it and pass turn and say well played.
Yeah.
So
well, I'll get a little lucky. Like if I played on turn 10, I do run Frostbolts and Ice Lances, so if I can stay alive 2 turns, Archmage is enough to win the game, generally.
Yeah.
Because, you're guaranteed to get 1 or 2 fireballs. Or
you're just going to cycle those fireballs.
Right. Or if it's turn 7, 8, I can play Archmage. If I'm feeling really lucky, I'll play Archmage turn 7, just kind of naked, and then turn 8, play 2 fireballs or whatever I have in my hand.
Right.
But generally the dream is, turn 10, turn 9, Alexstrasza. Turn 10, if you don't have any fireballs or anything like that, you play your Archmage and then maybe an Ice Lance and a Frostbolt. And it's it's game.
Oh, you run Ice Lance?
Yes, I do. This deck I have been because of Frostbolt. It's a good tempo card. It either you can do damage if something's frozen, or if they put down something big, you can kind of freeze it temporarily and give you an extra turn.
I've seen people making this deck. They make the tempo list and they make it similarly to a freeze mage kind of list.
Yeah.
Excuse me. They run the Frost Novas and they run Doomsayer. I had to.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to kill command a Doomsayer the other day.
Oh, sad face.
Yeah, it was whatever. I still beat him.
Yeah.
Killed that guy. It was fun. But yeah, it's there's a lot of flexibility, I think, with the way you make this deck. But I think it all comes out to do you have the legendaries to play it?
At the end game. I mean, I've won a couple early.
Yeah.
You know, water elemental. I feel like I've seen always in the deck. I think it's just
That card's solid.
Oh, it's such a good card.
Yeah.
And then that there's some synergy there with the Ice Lance in the deck that I'm playing anyway. And
I would say that Water Elemental is almost a tech card. However, it's
yeah,
almost every good actually I would say pretty much every good deck right now is either running weapons or has some.
Oh, you there? Oh, wait. So you were saying running weapons, or that's the last I heard anyway.
Okay, yeah. So everybody's either running weapons or running some way to hit you in the face with their face, like druids in Savage War and Hero Power or whatever.
Okay.
And that's what rogues, hunters, warriors, paladins, shamans, even like almost everybody has a way to hit.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
freeze is very, very relevant.
Yeah.
That's why Snow Chugger was nuts.
Yeah. I'm also running 2 Kirin Tor mages.
Yeah, I've seen that as well.
Getting a 4/3 body on turn 3 and playing like a duplicate, or I mean really anything, but I really mirror entity is what I really like to play, because 4-drops are pretty strong. Or if you go second, they're I guess the 4-drop, unless you I guess depending on the turn, whatever turn it is, anything past 4 on is always good. Any 5 drops are good, 6 drops, 7, right. Obviously. Getting one of those for free is fantastic. So I haven't seen a lot of those in play in ladder anyway for a long time. So it's kind of nice to see those on the board again.
Yeah. It's cool. Like the Secret Mage deck was like a really cool deck, and it was super explosive, but it never really got there. And I really like Kirin Tor because it's such a good card.
Mm-hmm.
It gives so much value. It's basically Mage's Shredder. It's the same.
Okay.
It's like the same. It's the same mana costs or same body type, and you get 2 things out of it basically.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little. You sacrifice a card for way less RNG, basically, with that. But
yeah, I'd like to see. I mean, I'd like to try maybe the Rag Sylvanas version of this. I feel like the version I'm playing is more aggressive with the Alexstrasza and the because Alexstrasza's in this deck anyway. It's been good for me. I can either burn control deck. I can burn them down quick. Turn 9-10 on.
Right.
Or turn 9-10 on, I can heal up from an aggro deck and kind of say, exactly. Sorry about that.
Well met.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah, Alex is great. Slightly off topic. A buddy of mine was making Hamlock and didn't have Jiraxis.
Okay.
And he ran Alex, and he was like, I'm just going to run this until I get Jiraxis, and ended up liking Alex so much that he just ran Alex over Jiraxis.
I could see that.
It was a while back, but...
Yeah. To kind of use it as a... Yeah, getting an 80 on the board. If you kind of burn everything else.
And it can heal you.
Right.
Heal you up the same way that Mal'Ganis can.
Right.
I mean,
can see that.
Jiraxis.
Yeah. Or, if you've got the Dream and you've got a bazillion giants on board and they've got nothing, and Alex in the hit space. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, two giants on board and they have no taunts. Alexstrasza hit him in the face. That was also one of the greatest things that he liked about that.
Probably not going to happen a lot, but it's an option.
But
it's
whatever.
an option.
Got utility.
Yeah.
But yeah. So me playing this against this tempo deck last season, I had a lot of problems with what was it? KT Sylvanas. I played up against a guy twice in a row. I played up against the same guy, and he got KT Sylvanas on curve. That was the most frustrating thing ever. I was like, and this was back when Tempo Mage wasn't, I would say wasn't really a thing.
Okay.
I didn't really know what I was playing against. I just saw Sylvanas hit the board and KT hit the board, and I was like, I want to concede.
Yeah.
just almost no way of coming out of this.
KT. I really do like that card.
Yeah. I think if I ran this deck, I would run that Ice Lance. I would run it with Ice Lance. I enjoy Ice Lance. And I haven't been able to play it, and I've always wanted to play Freeze Mage, but Freeze Mage is kind of right now.
The one issue I have with this deck is it burns out pretty quick. For what I almost wonder if I should run maybe a one of Arcane Intellect to draw for card draw. I do like having the Blood Mage Thanos in there for it, but I don't know. I feel like I run and you do have Azure Drakes. That's I'm running two of those. I don't know.
You just feel like it needs more card draw. Needs more advantage of sorts.
Yeah, I have thought about maybe taking out like a Snow Chugger or something.
You run Snow Chugger? Holy cow!
Yeah. So this one really is about. It gives you a bunch of options. It's all about using Ice Lance. You want to use Ice Lance as an aggressive spell, not a defensive spell. You want to.
Yeah, right.
But sometimes you don't have an option. But again, like I said, I don't have. I don't know if I can get off clutch. The duplicate or mirror entities, it's okay because I'm getting free cards out of it. Technically, and then you can get the duplicate value from there. I don't know. I want to kind of run, but playing 3 mana Arcane Intellect is not good because you're not developing a board.
Right.
I get it.
It's divination for Magic. It's the same exact thing.
I struggle late mid game, like turns.
Really?
That's how I feel.
Oh, late mid game.
Yeah, I can get a pretty good start, but up until turn 9, I don't feel confident unless I can get good mirror entities or duplicates off.
Right, that makes sense.
Late game, I do pretty well. Obviously, with Alexstrasza and Archmage, but
yeah.
I don't know. I think I do need to play it more. I think that might be part of why I feel the way I do.
I think I'm gonna start playing it. I'm looking at mid-range Pally. I would like to play that. Because it's really good. I still enjoy playing Oil Rogue.
Yeah,
I love Oil Rogue, and I'm gonna probably keep playing that because it also does. It's the one matchup that mid-range Pally hates playing, and a lot of people are gonna be playing mid-range Pally, so I'm cool with that. So,
all right. You know what? Next week we'll talk about mid-range Pally.
Sounds good.
Well, we'll talk about some Pally.
Some Pally.
I don't know which one yet. We'll talk about it. Okay. I just want to play Pally. I need to figure out what. Again, I've got enough cards to play it. I just have never played it. I don't know why. What's wrong with me?
You need to do it. It's good.
Okay.
You'll win games.
Win them games.
Win
them games.
Rack up some money.
Well, anything else to say about Tempo Mage?
I mean, it's been around for a little while, and it's just like surfacing up. I think you definitely have a chance of taking if you're really good with it and you develop your own really good list. It has a very good chance of hitting Legend. I think if you've been playing pretty well, like if you're rank 5 right now. And you play this and do well with it, I think you could hit. Legend, and I think there's more to come with it. I think there's more to develop with it, and we're probably going to see it some more, especially in mid-range / control heavy formats that we have right now. It seems.
Well, that's it for Deck of the Week. We'll be right back. Thank you for listening again. That's our show this week. Don't forget you can find us on YouTube and Twitter at Death Rattle Crew. Our website is www.deathrattlecrew.com. We'll be on Twitch soon. We've got plans for kind of a game show. I'm not going to give away too much yet. Hopefully I think we're playing in 2 weeks. Tom, you'll definitely be there. I know you will. Your brother will be there.
I will be there doing something.
Yes.
Whatever I can do to help, or if I can squeeze my way into the tournament.
Oh yeah. Well, and so the tournament too. Next week, I will announce that we're gonna do a tournament. I will give details. I think that'll be a good time and enough time, because I think in late April we're going to actually do our first tournament, and it will be a monthly thing. So stay tuned for next week. We'll announce more of that.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so fun.
And we'll do this game show. Not sure how often. I don't know if it'll be weekly, but I think it'll definitely be at least bi-weekly.
Yeah.
So
be nice.
Stay tuned for that. We'll be on Twitch doing both the tournament and the game show. Death Rattle Crew there as well. Again, you can find us on Stitcher and shortly iTunes as soon as the approval process finishes up. Other than that, thank you again for listening. Just Soup, thanks for joining today.
Absolutely. We're keeping Matt in our thoughts as he's, I guess, totally destroying all the noobs in the laser tag tournament in Australia or something like that.
That's right.
Yeah.
So until next week, see you guys next time.